Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hello Redlow podcast. I'm your host, Terry Mullen, and I'm so happy you're here. If you're new here, welcome. Redlow is older spelled backwards. I'm older, and perhaps you are too. Or perhaps you're just a little bit curious about who I am and what I have to say. I show up here each week talking about all things like navigating life transitions, overcoming hard things, and rediscovering who we are now in this season of life. I do solo episodes, and I bring on a few of my friends, other amazing women who are stepping forward with their lives, starting businesses, and overcoming their own hard things. We all have a story to tell, so sit back and listen in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hello Redlow podcast. I'm your host, Terry Mullen, and I'm so excited about today's podcast because I have a very, very special guest. My own precious, wonderful daughter, Katherine Mullen Davidson. I just had to add the Davidson. She is number 3 of 4, and we've had some awesome time together these past several days over the Easter holiday. And as an adult mom, I love any time I can get with my adult children as I continue to step forward with my life and navigate my own life transitions. We've done super fun things like just be together, things that we love doing, and having conversations, going on walks, getting pedicures, being in nature, talking about past, present, and future. And I just want you to meet her. I want you to hear who she is. She's an awesome human, and she's gone through her own life transitions. And so let's just dive into it. Welcome, sweetheart, for being here.
Happy to be here.
I'm so glad. One of the conversations we had sitting in the jacuzzi one night was talking about, my friend asked you how I was as a mom. What was it like growing up with me as a mom? And you shared kind of your heart about it. And I told her that one of the stories that I have in my book is when you were kind of going through a transition in college, I had you do this exercise to kind of help you kind of overcome some limiting thoughts that you had, just kind of came to me. And it's the rock story. And do you want to share a little bit about that? Because it was really fun as we were talking back, just kind of going back in our life a little bit about things that worked and things that were hard. And will you share that rock story?
Yeah. It was my senior year of college, and I was pretty unhappy and not in a very good place. And so I flew out to California to come and see you, and I was in the middle of trying to figure out what's next and what the next chapter was, what I wanted to do as far as like grad school and whatnot. And so we went to the beach and wrote things that we wanted to let go, because I think it was around New Year's that we did it. And so wrote things on rocks that we wanted to get rid of for the year and leave behind. And then we threw them in the ocean. And then gathered sand and rocks, and then wrote the stuff for the new year, what we wanted the new year to bring, and then we put it in a little glass jar, and we decorated the jar, and so, and I took it back to college with me, and I wrote on there the 3 words that I wanted for, I think that was 2016, and so it was love, adventure, and happiness, and I then moved after graduation to Oregon, where I went to grad school for chiropractic school, and met my closest friends, and I met my husband, and I got all 3 things within the first few months of 2016.
That's awesome. And it was a life-changing moment for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you were really going through a really hard thing. You kind of had gone through kind of this really hard breakup. You were not happy in that college, per se, and just trying to figure out what your next steps were. And so that was such a pivotal moment. And for me, too, as a mom, like as an adult mom, you know, I had just kind of this last minute thought. And so I still do that too. I still will sometimes hike up to the cross and write words every so often, a thing on a rock, things that I just need to get rid of. And I think throwing it with that energy of just getting rid of it and then collecting something new is really powerful.
Yeah. That's my favorite exercise that we've ever done. And I think it was good for me to do because it literally felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders and breath of fresh air, I would say. And so I was very nervous of the next chapter, and kind of it was perfect because I found a place that was very me, because I hadn't found a place that felt very me where I could be myself, and Oregon was that missing piece. And met some of my closest friends, and then met my husband 2 weeks into the program.
Which is awesome. I mean, it was such a life-changing moment, because I remember you were trying to decide whether you wanted to do PT, do physical therapy, and go to USC, or go to chiropractic school. And it was this huge pivotal decision. And so now looking back, I mean, you definitely found your people and your place, being in nature, being in Oregon, and just all the people that have now become lifelong friends.
Yep.
Which, as I've shared on the podcast, Katherine got married this past summer, met just this amazing human, Chase. I say he's my favorite son-in-law. He's my only son-in-law, but he's still my favorite. He's just great. He gives the best hugs. He's really been the peanut butter to your jelly. I mean, right?
He's my person.
He's definitely your person. He brings out the best in you. And likewise, I mean, you guys had such an amazing wedding. And I think what was so cool to see at the wedding was just your connection. I mean, there was so much emotion.
Yes.
Because for all of us, everybody attending, for all of you in the wedding party, just because of the love that you guys have, like you could just feel it with everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And it made it so special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you? And I even think about like Allie, her sister's toast, it was just so powerful. It really spoke volumes for who you are and who you are as a couple, and then all your friends that were there that represent this journey that you guys have taken over these past many years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Lots of things.
So I just love that. So thank you for sharing. As a mom, I think it's so hard. I spent all these years just being really close to you guys and then watching you guys all leave one by one. And to see you all now, all of you, all four of you, really thriving in your life, your partners that you've met and married, you've got 2 married, and your independence, it's really wonderful. And I'm grateful for that. Yeah. I love you so much.
I love you too.
And also now, so you guys got married, and you had a career for a long time as a chiropractor working for someone else.
Yep.
Right? And now you had to have a hard conversation recently because you decided now that you're going to work with Chase. So share a little bit about that, because you really had those were hard conversations where you have, I guess what I wanted to say is that for you, one of the things that's really, really important to me, and I have a chapter in the book about this, my goal for all of you, especially you girls, not that it wasn't important for the boys, they do it kind of naturally, but for you guys to really speak up for yourself and to have a place where you felt safe to speak your thoughts, to speak your opinions, especially as adults, and to kind of find yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the rock exercise, that's why I wanted to share it, was really kind of the beginning where you were really able to process really what you wanted in your life. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
And verbalize what was important to you, where you wanted to go for your next step.
Yeah. I feel like from that moment on was a kind of winding road of figuring out a lot of different things in my life as far as personally and then also professionally, where it's been a lot of up and down, but I feel like as long as it's been going in kind of the positive trajectory where, I mean, at least within the past 3 years I've had a lot of growth because we moved from Denver to Austin, and I've had a lot of trying to figure out my own career and what I want to do and how I want to progress, and was able to go into a practice with the guy that got me into this career, who I have a lot of respect for, and he's been a great mentor. And so where I got to develop a lot as a clinician and figuring out as far as who I am and build my confidence. And so I guess all that to say where from that exercise on, I got to grow into myself and build more confidence. And like I said, within the past 3 years, I've gotten to build who I am as a clinician and gain my own confidence because Chase started the practice. He's going into his 3rd year with it, where I wasn't ready and had a lot of timidness behind it. And then within, I would say, the past year to 6 months is when I've kind of grown a lot as a person and as a clinician to now make that jump to be able to join him, but also to your point of work on hard conversations, because I am a conflict avoider
and a little bit of a pleaser, like
and
her mother.
People pleaser for sure. And so that was something that was really difficult for me to do, and I prepped because I'm very much like people pleaser, so I want to continue to keep those relationships strong. And so then that worked really hard as far as many conversations and many practicing. I think I made Chase practice with me for about an hour and a half the day I was giving my notice. But I think I made Chase practice an hour and a half with me the day of, so I could go over and over, not so much as far as rogue memorizations, but getting me comfortable. And especially like, because I gave a month notice, we joked around in the office that I had to break up with all of my patients over and over and over, and so that was not easy. But yeah, just kind of transitioning into this new phase of life as now a business owner and a wife, and yeah, lots of new chapters.
It's awesome. And I think one of the things that's really important to say is that when Catherine's talking about this person that she worked for, he treated you when you were in high school and you had a knee injury as a track runner. You ended up having some minor knee surgery, but I remember him saying, if you'd come to me first, you wouldn't even have had to have this surgery. And so you have always respected his way of practice, and he has guided you which chiropractic school you went to, and then you were able to do an internship with him. So when you decided to leave, it became a very emotional and very hard decision because you have so much respect for him.
Yeah, I started crying.
Yeah. Well, and that makes sense. I mean, he's been such an incredible role model, and he has amazing practice and a leading practice in Austin. And so you just really gained so much from him. Yeah. And so then the time has just come because you can't have that conflict where your husband has a practice and you all, and then try to practice separately. You guys decided it would be best to work together.
And the confidence to want to become an entrepreneur and have that kind of risk, because I felt at a point where I wanted to take that risk and grow personally and professionally. And so, there's a lot of factors to it, but all exciting and good factors. And
So I'm so excited. I mean, for me, having grown up as an entrepreneur, it just lights me up. And I think Chase is amazing at it as well. He's got that drive, and both of you, I mean, you guys are so great together. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited. It's scary and hard, but you know how I believe about having your own business. There's freedom. You get to make your own decisions. You get to practice the way you want to practice. Yeah. You get to help the world in a different way where it's your voice. Right? Which I'm really proud of you for, because you and I are very similar in personality. Some of the things, you've learned a lot of wonderful things from me. And you've learned some of my weaknesses, which has been people pleasing and not always speaking up. And so wanting to approval from other people. You know, would you agree?
Yeah, very much. I'm very much that way, where I constantly want approval and people pleasing and not to have hard conversations. But I've learned so much about that it's, you got to practice that in order to get better at it. And so anything in life that comes easy isn't, what is it? Like anything in life that's worth it doesn't come easy. And so, it's kind of exciting in that way. And so lots of growth to be had, and also that I've had.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. I'm really proud of you. And you handled that all very well. I'm proud of you for really speaking up and using your voice and honoring yourself, because you were starting to get really burnt out. Yeah. And starting not to love what you do. And so to be able to do this, it just kind of lights you up to be able to work with Chase, and you're going to be a great partnership. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. I'm excited. So I think that's really amazing that you've done that. Now you're going to go back and you start
in a week from today.
Yeah.
So I'm taking another week off.
And you already have clients.
Yeah.
Woohoo! And one of the other things I wanted to talk about too, just because you and Chase really have such an amazing relationship, and I think so much, I think he's been a safe place for you to land. It's been a safe way for you to use your voice to be able to communicate. He respects you greatly. He adores you so much. And likewise. And so one of the conversations we were having, talking about marriage and relationships, and the thing that you guys do every week is you have
a check-in,
your weekly check-ins, which I just love and respect so much. So share a little bit about that, what you guys do, because I think it's really cool. It really has helped you really build this really strong relationship.
Yeah. It taught me a lot about communication, because, again, conflict avoidant. And so when it comes to being able to communicate frustrations, it was a really good platform to be able to do that. And so it taught me a lot. We've done it for like 3 or 4 years. I can't remember when it exactly started, but we have a notebook that we write it all down with. But it was Chase's idea. He got it from a podcast. I think it was the Tim Ferriss and Brene Brown podcast. And so then he was like, I think we should start implementing that. And it was probably a game changer for our relationship in a very positive way, where we go to a coffee shop every Sunday, and we have, over the past few years, dedicated Sundays being our day.
Which is awesome in and of itself.
where we try not to make plans. I mean, if stuff falls on a Sunday, it's no big deal. But we start off the morning and we walk Luna to the coffee shop.
Luna's her dog.
And we go and sit, and we are there actually for like a few hours. And it depends on like what the week has brought, and it just leads to really great conversation. So we have a format. It goes yay me, which is basically like, these are my wins for the week that you're proud of, and it can be however many you want. More me, where it's things that you wish that you could work on. It could be anything. Mine tend to go in the direction of like my nutrition, as far as eating more or staying on top of like meal prep or whatnot. Or I fell off as far as my workouts this week just because I have my own goals. And then it goes yay you, so it's an opportunity for me to celebrate Chase as far as, you did this great, or like, thank you so much for loving me in this way, or doing these things that I can tell, as far as like, we went to like, you planned this date, or like, he got me this wonderful Christmas gift that it was like one of those super cool color analyses, which I have loved, and it was really kind, and he went with me and is supportive, so like, thank you for doing that. And then it ends on more you, and it's an opportunity to, as far as communication, where it doesn't come out as anything super angry. It's like, hey, I felt this way when you said this. Or for him, what he'll say is, please help me with the dishes, because he's the cleaner and he's very good at it. And so it's like helping me around the house a little bit more, and it's just a really good platform to be able to communicate. And so you go one at a time, being like, you go through all four. So if I were to go first, I would do all four of mine, and then it just leads to just kind of like easy conversation, and then he'll go, and then we switch week to week. But it's probably one of my favorite things, and it's one of our coveted traditions that when we miss it, I get sad. Like this week I've missed it because I've been here. But yeah, it's great. It's
just awesome. I mean, it's such a great connection. And it's so powerful that it even came up in, Allie's, her sister's toast, the maid of honor toast, that these check-ins have established kind of this reputation, and it's just such a gift. It obviously works. It really shows in your relationship, the connection that you have, the way you speak to each other.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's, as you know, Dad and I, one of the things we really struggled, we thought we had great communication until we didn't. Mm-hmm. Now we're really good about going back and doing date night again. But I love this in that you get to have these conversations with each other. Like, I love and respect this about you. Mm-hmm. I'm happy with this for myself. Mm-hmm. And I love and respect this about you. And then, can you please help me with? Yeah. And you do it in a way that's not attacking.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, and Allie also brought it up on the wedding, because we did it the morning of our wedding.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. Well, we didn't do like the full-on format, because we wanted to keep it all obviously positive, and that week we didn't really have anything negative, but it was more so from the standpoint of like, what, as far as looking back at the past, at that point it was 6 years we've been together, 7 years now, almost, it'll be 8 in November. That it was like, over the past handful of years, like, what are some of your favorite memories, and what are you excited for the years ahead? Mm-hmm. And so we were both pretty adamant as far as that's how we wanted to start off our wedding day. Like, we gotten coffee, sat outside, and like did the untraditional, saw each other the morning of the wedding, but it was like probably the perfect way to start off our wedding day.
Oh, gosh.
You didn't know we did that?
No. I mean, I was so busy doing some other things. So
yeah.
I think that's what makes it super cool with you guys is, and anybody listening, no matter where you are in your relationship, whether you're just beginning or whether you're where I am, where you've been married 34 years, it brings me such joy to see you starting your marriage out this way, learning from the things that Dad and I did well and things we didn't do well. It just makes me so happy and so proud of you. And I'm learning. This is the thing that's super cool now about being a mom of adult children, mm-hmm. is that now I learn so much. It's going to make me cry. That now I learn so much from you guys, and there's nothing, I'd love to take all the credit for it. I mean, obviously Dad and I worked really hard, but it's also who you are. And it brings me such joy to see you this happy, which you are happy. In your relationship, and to be around you, there's just such joy and love just in your spirit and who you are. And then just to see you thriving, it gives me such peace, too, to know how happy you are in your marriage, you know, and that you found your person and that your friends, these friends that you met, you know, in Oregon, you have, and we were talking about that too, like the connection that you all have, that you guys work really hard in that relationship as well. You find time, right? Yeah. Maybe once a month or whatever. What do you do, like, where you connect?
Well, we don't have a regimen as far as that goes. It's more so we shoot a text and be like, who's around? Who can hop on the phone? And we'll do a FaceTime. And so just kind of catch up when we can. And it doesn't happen as often as I wish that we could, but I think now 2 of us own our own business. One of them is eventually, or she works with, like, it's a family practice, and then one of them works for the VA, and so she's pretty busy, and she teaches and is about to have her first kiddo, and so life gets pretty crazy, but it's been really cool, speaking to that, as far as watching each other go through different life transitions and being at every one of their weddings, and now 2 of them have kids, and one's pregnant and will have a kid in June, and so and one of them just bought a house, and so it's just all of these really cool life stages, from going to grad school, becoming doctors, figuring out as far as their own practices, and owning a practice, and now having kids and owning houses, and it's just been really cool to see. And so we're each other's cheerleaders and then some. And when I went through, and well, during Thanksgiving, I flew out to Arizona, and my friend Lisa and I sat at the bar for maybe like 2 hours and just talking about where I was just at that point felt very lost in my career and didn't know what to do. And I was like, these are kind of what I'm thinking. And it was essentially kind of her push that was like, this is what I think what would be good. And if you're going to do this, like, you need to have a deadline to be like, this is my out, or like, this is when I'm done. And so, yeah, we're biggest cheerleaders, and they sent me flowers, and just wonderful people that I am grateful for. If anything, my move to Oregon was so positive because of my friendships and my relationships.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really amazing, Katherine, is that for me, watching that, and Dad and I had that core group of friends too, which we're still really good friends with all these years later. I think that's the other message, is that as you're navigating these different life transitions, what a gift it is to have these friends that know you this well. You guys went through all these hard things through chiropractic school. You guys all kind of found your mates, you've remained such friends, and you help each other as you continue to navigate all these life transitions. As, like you said, as business owners, as, you know, spouses, as parents, as first-time homeowners. It's awesome to watch, and I'm grateful for all those amazing people in your life, because they're awesome people too.
Yeah.
So thank you for this. I just kind of wanted to do a short podcast just to kind of have I've been wanting to have a conversation with one of you guys on here, just to share who we are, like who I am as a mom, and who I am now as trying to help other women step forward with their life and find their voice and navigate their own life transitions from, you know, being a parent, you know, with kids at home, to now being an empty nester and what's next. And so it's so much fun to be a parent of an adult child too. It's awesome. It's hard to let go, but at the same time, it's fun just to be together as friends on a different level now, and to watch you guys. And like I said, you guys all teach me stuff now, you know. Yeah. And I'm just so proud of you. And I'm looking forward to all that's ahead. I'm excited for this new venture with your business. It's going to be awesome. And so thank you for this time. Yeah. Is there anything else you would add? I mean, we've just had so much fun here together these last several days, and just, you know, it's harder now. I think that's the one thing, is having our time, finding that time. We have to, just like you guys set your time, you and Chase do these weekly check-ins, you have to plan for time together.
Yeah. I think I planned this trip, like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think making sure to find the time, and it's checking in both physically and also virtually is always great. And so it's nice to have the time, and this was a big reset for me before I kind of dive into this next chapter. And so it was the perfect little reset. We got a little traditions that we do: our nails, the mountains, some coffee, and
a few glasses of wine.
Sitting
in jacuzzi.
Yep.
So I'm grateful, and that's just my other encouragement is just for all of you out there, just as you navigate these transitions with your adult children, just to continue to stay connected. We have our family chat that we do. Try to find the time, plan different holidays, whatever you can do, and time together because it matters. And as I laugh because you just continue to navigate as a parent and figure out, you just don't, you have conversations, but they're different. I don't say everything anymore. Now I just show up with certain things and just cheer everybody on. Anyway, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
I love you. Safe travels back home. And I can't wait to launch this podcast.
Yeah, I'm happy to be a guest. This is an honor.
So anyone is in Austin, Texas and needs an awesome chiropractor, I'm going to put this in the show notes. Catherine's amazing, and so is her husband. And no matter your age, I hope you're listening in. Red Love is older spelled backwards, and I'm finding that I actually resonate with younger people too. It's not just people my age, which is super fun. So thank you for being here. I love you with all my heart.
I love you too.
And all right, everybody, cheers. Know that you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are valued, and you belong. Until we meet again, keep stepping forward. God bless.